Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Valdestott's Voice. And I'm your host, Valdestott. And today's topic, I'm going to basically kind of wrap up what I talked about in the last video regarding gas prices going up versus cherry picking for distance. And the other topic is going to be market cap. So, to kind of briefly sum up the first topic, because gas prices have gone up so drastically, in my area about 40 cents a gallon, right? Drivers have to make smarter choices. And I cherry pick, and I know a lot of other drivers do cherry pick, and some don't, but cherry picking isn't necessarily about just accepting orders that have high dollar value and rejecting orders that don't. That's just cherry picking based on amount, total amount, okay? What your pay would be. I'm talking about the other side of cherry picking. Cherry picking based on distance. Because if you think about it, you will actually make more money if you cherry pick based on distance versus just cherry picking for a dollar amount. Most people want to at least get $1 per mile, which is good. That's what I recommend to everyone. Minimum $1 per mile. So if you have to go 6 miles and round trip, these are round trip miles, mind you, okay? And you have a pay amount offer of $4, that would be an automatic decline for me. But let's say this is an even tougher cherry picking question. Let's say you get a $12 offer, and the round trip total distance to basically get you from where you need to go, from your location to restaurant to customer and back. Now this is of course assuming that it's going to take you outside of your actual area, and then you'd have to return to it to get more orders, okay? So if it's let's say a $12 order, and it wants you to go 14 miles one way, I would reject those. Now, I know some of you would take them, but look at it like this. My methodology, if I took a $6 order and the round trip was 3 miles, that's $2 per mile per order, and it'd be faster with less time to get another order after the delivery is done. Depending on the restaurant in question, of course, but you can make smart choices. That's the beauty of being an independent contractor, folks. You're your own business owner. You can accept and reject without penalty, and they can't do a dang thing about it. They can't fire you for that, or else you could sue them. So, that is what I mean by that. And if you actually do it that way, cherry pick based on distance, you'll use less gas, drive less, and make more. But again, everyone has their own way of doing things in their markets, where if you're in a more compact city area and it typically keeps you in a 5-mile radius anyway, you can just take what you want. But in my case, where I'm kind of in a downtown area, and anything over 3.5 miles outside downtown takes you into more rural areas or less desirable areas, or in my GrubHub region, it can take you literally 20 miles away from your restaurant. Those are the orders I would insta-reject. So, I'm just letting you know, make smarter choices on that based on cherry picking, not just because of the gas price increase, but because you will make more money in the long run if you do it on $1 per mile versus hopefully you can go higher, like making $1.20 or $1.30 per mile. Okay? So I'm going to end that right there on that topic. But the new topic I'm talking about today is this. GrubHub, okay, and market cap. It's not even just GrubHub technically, it's all apps, okay? What I mean by market cap is this. If you are in a given market, there is a cost of living index amount associated with the area that you're in. I'm in the Southeast region. Our minimum wage is $7.25, and labor is a lot cheaper to do things for, repairing cars, doing landscaping, doing construction work, etc., right? Because our cost of living is a lot lower, and cost of living is directly proportional to the major things, like getting a house, renting an apartment, buying a car, eating out at restaurants, okay? So if you, in your market, like mine, has a lot lower cost of living, these gig apps are going to pay you less, accordingly, based on what your market will allow. For instance, if GrubHub were to charge customers a Los Angeles, New York, LA, Seattle, Miami, yes, I said Los Angeles twice, Dallas, these places typically have higher cost of living indexes where mortgages for houses, rent for apartments, your grocery items, gas, everything is going to be a lot higher. Therefore, the workers there have to get paid higher. So if I were to, in my market, if Grubhub were to charge a delivery fee of $7.99 to $10.99 based on a LA or Seattle market, because you guys get paid $15 an hour at the minimum wage, people in my area would never order from Grubhub or Doordash or any of those platforms charging that high a delivery charge. There's no way. They wouldn't be able to afford it as much, therefore less customers. So what they do is that if you see the drivers, right? The drivers obviously need to get paid a certain amount to live and for their own expenses. They charge and pay the customers and pay their drivers accordingly based upon where you're at. Make sense? Yeah, of course, it's just common sense. So, here's the deal. If you see ads for these gig apps to hire drivers on Indeed.com, Monster.com, any of these job sites, or you see emails or referral codes to get your family and friends in on this action to become a part-time or full-time driver, you will always see a dollar amount up to $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $25 an hour, wherever you are in the country, right? A lot of people see that as, oh, I can make up to that amount, okay? As in, well, let's say it's $20 an hour in your area and that job, one ad is, trying to hire you. Sometimes you won't even hit that amount. It's based off of the time of year and whatever market you're in and how many, what your order volume from that particular platform is. All of this comes into play. So let's say you're in a $20 per hour market. That doesn't mean you're automatically going to get $20 per hour every hour. It doesn't work like that. What it does do is show that if you work X amount of hours, let's say you're full-time, you want to work 40 hours a week. If you work 40 hours a week and it's saying up to $20 an hour, your max cap would be $800 a week in that market. Okay, you following me? So, if you get $800 a week, that's doing pretty well at $20 an hour, but you and I and everyone should know that that's the up to amount. Some weeks, you might get $15 an hour. Holiday slowdown weeks or summer slowdown weeks, you may be lucky to get $12 an hour. Don't look at the dollars per hour like an employee would at any regular job. That's a guarantee. With gig work, through being an independent contractor, you're a business owner. You have to make the smart choices of cherry picking based on order volume, based on time of year, based on time that you work, based on being on block, off block, on schedule, off schedule. That's what you need to worry about, because there are no guarantees. Now, some people would say, well, what about if you're on block or on schedule? You should get more money than those that aren't. Yes and no. It also depends on order volume, because you got to remember, they need a certain amount of drivers. And I know some of you would also say, well, yeah, they hire all the time. Well, GrubHub doesn't. Doordash, I know, does. They hire anyone with a heartbeat. All you need is a driver's license and a proof of insurance. Their background check is like really basic and you're in. Okay? But at the same time, they want to keep their drivers happy enough to at least stay on the platform, so they have to spread the money out as well, which is why your weeklies could fluctuate on slow weeks, slow periods of the year, etc. So when you see that $20 an hour, that's up to. Anything below that is open game. But I also see it like this. I have done a lot of data analysis and research for the last 4 months. And I've actually cracked the GrubHub code based on it, okay? And here's a little tidbit. They will never allow you, whether you're on block or off block, to go above a certain maximum dollar amount per hour in any given week. Mine ranges typically on good weeks from about $17 to $21 an hour. On average weeks, 15 to 17, and on slow weeks, 12 to about 15, in that range. I have never, ever in 1 year working with GrubHub, ever gotten above $21 an hour in a week. Never. And this is working anywhere from 35 hours to about 43 hours in any given week. My order volume fluctuates. My hours of working can fluctuate. The one constant, however, is that even if you were to get a golden egg, and I know we've all gotten an order for $30 for one order offer, or $50 or $70, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a great week. Unfortunately, reality is going to set in, and unless it's a special circumstance, I'm going to put that little caveat on there. Weather related, like heavy rain, heavy snow, something going on where there's a major holiday or there's not enough drivers out there to meet demand, that sort of thing. I'm talking everything being equal, all just a normal week. If your market is at $20 an hour, you will never really go above $800 in a week. Even with that $70 offer, they will lowball